sounds. Is it working? Game is for friends.
I thought this music was so epic.
We all like talking about gaming. The only thing that I disliked about the old game. There are so many different conversations started by gaming.
Oh, I forgot. I have you.
This could be anything. Okay, walk in that green goo. Oh, nope. That's a no. Anything gaming. Hi, and welcome to Anything Gaming, episode 43. We are here with like the big Nintendo. We're going into Nintendo stuff, and Woody is so excited.
Oh, I am ready. No, we're hitting the iron while it's hot on this one too.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because today at work, I constantly had to sneak away to be like, yeah, I'll be right back, and I'll go and just watch more footage of the Switch 2 stuff. But it's been very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Some parts I don't like. It's not all positive. So some parts are more obvious than others. Other parts are just little nitpicks I have.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, though, how have you been, Ant?
I've been okay. I've been really busy. I'm planning to travel the world soon and go over. I'm going to go and meet up with you, and we'll go to PAX and do some stuff. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Forward to that.
Yeah. And I'm really excited about the Nintendo Switch also. I was not surprised at the price. There were so many people going, oh, it's way too expensive. But for me, I think the price is quite reasonable.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know what it is over there. Is it like $500 US?
I think they said $440. It's either $449 or $500. I forget where it was. It was somewhere in there.
Depends if you get Mario Kart World bundle or something.
Yep. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, no, and yeah, I was not disturbed by that. It's like, okay, yes, maybe after spending $750 on the Steam Deck, I think it was all with the case and everything, it was $750. So maybe just after paying that, it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of a bargain now.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, compared to the Steam Deck, it actually comes in quite affordable. Like,
yeah.
I think it's similar specs to the Steam Deck. The only thing it does, like, it obviously doesn't play Steam games, but it plays Nintendo games.
It's the Nintendo games.
Yeah, but I thought that's a good price. Like, why is everyone? Oh, this is way too expensive. What did they want it to be? Like $300? It doesn't.
Well, okay. So, interesting fact. I read this online first, so take it what we will. But I guess American, if you adjust for inflation, the Switch 2 is $68 more than the Switch 1. With adjusted for inflation. I remember when the Switch 1 came out, I believe it was $300 American.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so $150 take away inflation, and yeah, so that sounds about right.
But how much does a PlayStation 5 cost? Not the Pro, just the normal one.
I think it was $500 when I bought it.
So,
same with this
has got a screen in it. It's got
no. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's got a screen in it. It's got like. It's got the controllers. It's a bit short on memory. It's only got 256 gig, which
right, yeah. Like I was expecting at least a terabyte of internal. Yeah, you could put in the stick, more memory, and that's fine. But I was expecting a terabyte.
Oh, I thought 500 maybe, but when you look at the last Nintendo that only had 32, like it's a massive upgrade from the last one.
It is, yeah. I was still kind of hoping for more.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll be a big problem. I never really had a problem. I got a damn good memory card for my my Switch, but space was never a huge issue for me, so I'm sure it'll be fine on the Switch too.
Yeah, and also the controller is confirmed to be a mouse, which I'm not even sure how I feel about that. I don't understand. Like, are you going to be now? Nintendo's going to make dumb games that you have to use a stupid mouse to control something.
No, the only game I've seen so far that uses that. Well, I'm searching, so I'm sure there's a bunch that do it. I just haven't seen it. But Metroid Prime 4.
Okay,
you're going to be able to play that with them. Because, well, like any other. Like, it's not unsimilar to your setup. When I saw that, I thought of you, because I know one hand is keyboard, but the other hand is analog stick.
Yeah.
All that. in a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of that. So
Yes.
that will be Samus aiming around doing other things too that you would shoot and whatnot. Whereas this hand will be the movements and the items and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, visors.
Yeah, because I suppose there are a lot of people that like to aim with a mouse because,
I mean,
yeah.
I am getting more used to mouse control with me playing PC a lot more. But for a game like Metroid Prime, I'm just gonna use whatever the Pro Controller equivalent is. I don't think have they shown the Pro Controller yet? Like it would be great if the Switch Pro Controllers work for it. There was a rumor back in the day that the Wii U controllers were gonna work with a Switch, and they didn't at all.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to do that, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. That's a wait and see. And I was really surprised at the games that they announced too. The Mario Kart world is obviously the one that they're bundling.
Damn. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you're buying. You're buying the new Mario Kart at this point, and I am excited. Honestly, it's actually kind of funny. It's not a complete, this game kind of style. But at first, I thought Cruis'n USA. Did you ever play that? Or did you ever play Cruis'n World? Or like, I think Outrun has it, where it's more like just a continuous race. Across various terrains.
It's more like a rally track because you're going from one location to a next location.
Like I'm getting those vibes from it, and that's great. That's a good shot. I don't want to bury my nose completely in Nintendo's butthole here, but it's always the simplest shit that like I would never have thought of that. When I thought like, okay, what can Mario Kart do next? I kind of thought about just bringing in all the franchises, making it the Smash Brothers of Mario Kart, and just do that. And it'd be fun. I'd play that. But the fact that they're doing something like that is it's different. It's outside what I thought of. So it's got me very excited.
There's free play as well, so you can not do a race and then just explore the world.
I know. Yeah, from what I saw with the trailer. The game, like even the carts themselves seem to control different once you go into we're doing a race now mode. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why. Maybe someone can contradict me on this, but it's almost like your character you kind of snap into the race almost, and now you're playing like a Mario Kart race. It's not like a going around like 3D World style kind of thing.
Well, one thing that I noticed from the trailer and it was that have you ever played the Lego race 2K race or whatever it is, Lego, where they race the Lego cars? Have you ever played that?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it reminded me a little bit of parts of that, where whenever you drive onto a different terrain, you'll swap into a different vehicle. So you can do like a parkour thing where you drive on walls, and then you'll turn into a jet ski or something when you go into the race on water. You don't race underwater anymore. It's all above water and stuff like that. And I think the glider isn't available anymore. So
it's funny too, because that's what I thought. And I was talking to my friend Brian, and he made up a good point. This goes way far back, but did you ever play Diddy Kong Racing?
No, I haven't.
Essentially, like it's a racer. It's a lap-based racer. Much like Mario Kart for the Nintendo 64, so it's of the era. Very good game, and its single-player mode was almost like an adventure mode where you did drive around to the different laps. It wasn't as streamlined as Mario Kart World, but it's the same vibe. He pointed that out, and I was like, wow, yeah, that is because Diddy Kong Racing's a very underappreciated kart ride. It's considered the best Mario Kart game to not be Mario Kart by a lot of people.
Okay. I do remember it coming out, and it did have a fair bit of love, but everything Diddy Kong or racing or Donkey Kong, even they seem to not do as well. They seem to lose they kind of got their fans, but they don't bring in new fans to the franchise so much as Mario just keeps on dragging more people in, sucking more people in. So.
Well, I think a problem with that is too, like we know the divide of like any Mario game, like Mario Kart, it's got Donkey Kong in it. You know what I mean? Donkey Kong is part of the greater Mario universe. He's in the movie. But Donkey Kong on his own doesn't have access to the Mario side of things.
Oh,
You know,
so
when
the
Donkey
Diddy
Kong goes
Kong
on its own,
Racing didn't have Mario.
it didn't have Mario, but it had some notable people. One person it actually did have you could play as was Conker, but it wasn't Conker's Bad Fur Day Conker. It was just a cute squirrel.
Oh, okay.
Like it was funny because it's a cartoony game and you can play as Conker, but it's not like the alcoholic defecating squirrel from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
But to me, the Mario world has a little bit of a Forza kind of. You know how Forza you drive to the race and then you start the race
Yeah.
and then you race. I wonder if there's that kind of component where you can go open world. There's a race over here. We'll just drive over there and then we'll get into the race and we'll race that race and then we'll drive over here and we can get into that race as well. I wonder if they do that kind of thing.
That's gonna be no. It sounds like see to me that kind. Did you ever play Burnout Revenge? Not Burnout Paradise. Have you ever played Burnout Paradise?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like something similar to that then, where like you go around the big city and oh, here's a challenge, and now you do that challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, I don't know though, because I think some people would want the traditional go to the menu, pick that kind of thing when it comes to that. But I play it.
Two different versions. I think you can choose from the menu. You can go, oh, we're going to go in world mode where I can just go around and drive to the races, or I'm going to go into like traditional mode. So they've already thought of that where they're not going to isolate. They're going to try and bring a new kind of vibe to the game, but you can still do it the old school way if you so choose. That's
I did notice some levels from yesteryear, some that didn't even make it to Mario Kart 8, and a lot made it to Mario Kart 8. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there was a couple levels like, oh, that level, like that, I know that level. You know, so that's going to be interesting. They will have, you know, the new levels as they will, but I do want to see some good retro ones.
I feel like there's going to be a glider still. Everyone's saying there's not a glider, and I just said that they didn't show the glider in the actual clip. But I think they will have a glider because then some laps or some of the newer maps will be unplayable without a glider.
Right, like Mario Kart 8. Obviously Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, very retro. Like they have a lot of levels. They got a bunch of levels from the Super Nintendo version. You know what I mean? Like they grab levels from back in the day. And if you take out the glider, you take out the possibility of playing those levels. So yeah, I think the glider's still going to be around. That ain't going anywhere.
I think it's going to be there, but they just weren't trying to emphasize that because they were trying to show the new versions of what you're going to get. You're going to get the jet ski. You're going to get there's a one that goes on a wire too, so you can like grind on wires.
Oh, I mean the possibility, like it sounds great, and it does sound like the kind of game that makes it seem like a different game. I got to give credit, even if admittedly, the open worldness of it is somewhat imposing. But just like the balls to do something different rather than churn out the same game, I like it. This is the first Mario Kart game, even more than Mario Kart 8. I'm looking forward to this game.
Me too. I think so. And that brings us to, you talked about Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh,
Donkey Kong.
Donkey. First off, love the name. Bonanza.
Yes.
Like that is such good wordplay. And so far, the TLDR pretty much is Donkey Kong Odyssey. It does give you a big Super Mario Odyssey vibe with it. Not that that's a problem though, because there's also some 2D elements. There's some parts that actually force you to play as if it's Donkey Kong Country. You know what I mean? It even looks a lot like that part.
But I think that's what Mario Galaxy did. It kind of brought the retro to the new, and they've done that with Bonanza as well. They've gone, hey, here's the old school stuff and here's the new stuff, and then you can kind of we're going to mash it all together, and you're going to love the shit out of this.
I thought it was so cool when Odyssey did it, but I will say, just a personal nitpick real quick. In Odyssey, while it's cool where you do play some Super Mario Brothers parts there, it would have been nice if they put in some other Mario, like Mario 3 or Mario World. It'd be hard to do 2, so I wouldn't expect that. But I just thought that would be cool. I would like to see if Donkey Kong can do that. That'd be great. Make it just look like Donkey Kong Land all of a sudden.
Well, I do want to point out that it was only like, I don't know, a year or so back where I was complaining to you about them not doing anything Donkey Kong new for a long, long time. So someone from Nintendo is obviously watching the show. Shout out to you guys.
Thank you. Yep. Yep. Thank you. They got that anything gaming bump.
Yeah.
That'll help them out. No, it looks exciting. I do have one weird question, and maybe you saw more of the trailer than I did. Why is Donkey Kong wearing pants?
It's the world we live in.
Is that it? Is that it? People don't want to see his big Donkey Kong ass out anymore.
I think so. I think I mean, I think it's got a bit more of a child-friendly vibe. It gives you the chance for a little bit more customization. I mean, you can change him.
Okay, yeah. Maybe if you could change it back to... I mean, heck, let's go with the old school, like, dark brown variant that he looks like in the original arcade game or something. That'd be cool.
I want to know why Diddy Kong, or whatever the purple little monkey is on your shoulder, is that Diddy Kong? And why is that purple?
I don't know. Yeah, this one, I want to know who makes the game. I mean, obviously Nintendo publishes it, but I don't know who's developing the game. I didn't see anything for that. It'd be cool if it was, because see, that's the thing. Retro Studios, they got Metroid Prime going on right now. So I don't know if they are still working, because they were the ones working on the new Donkey Kong Country Returns games. And I don't know if it's that group doing this.
I'll tell you what I can find on the internet. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it'd be cool if somehow they worked it out a deal with Microsoft if they could get Rare to come back to do a couple Donkey Kong things, but even if they did that, it wouldn't be the same Rare, all like the Stamper Brothers, those guys they're long gone. It's a completely different company now.
Yeah. I think I just want to know who the purple monkey is and why is there a purple monkey? I want to know if I'm assuming they're going to make it easier. Like, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Like, they're going to have to make an easier version of this, because Donkey Kongs have always been super hard, and I think that's what's hurt the franchise a bit, because kids kind of get frustrated on it really quickly and probably put it down. I think a lot of people probably get a little bit frustrated with Donkey Kong and maybe give it away a bit quicker than they should. So if they make different modes that are easier and harder, like, that would be very helpful to everyone. Donkey Kong.
Yeah, they seem to be doing that more, making it more accessible to people with all the Nintendo games lately. I'm sure that'll be, quite the same.
So I went to About This Game and it tells me nothing. It doesn't tell me who it's made by.
Yeah, it's probably a Nintendo development to me. Yeah. Actually, here's something cool that we can touch on real quick. So the Nintendo Online service. That's how you play your NES games, your SNES games. They're finally throwing a GameCube channel on there.
I know. I just canceled my Nintendo service because I wasn't using any of the stuff for the Switch, and so this makes me want to come back.
Now, I don't know what it is going to be overseas, but I know for North American release, they've announced 3 games so far.
Zelda?
Zelda, Wind Waker. Mm-hmm. Now, I hope they put in the HD version that was on the Wii U. Because, I mean, why not, right? But at the same time, maybe
won't do that. No, they won't. They'll completely wait till they release the Wii U online, which will be in another 3 years.
They did that with Turok, so yeah.
The next one, I'll do that.
The next one is F-Zero GX, which I never really played. I never really played the F-Zero for GameCube, but I heard it's really tight. So I'm looking forward to actually giving that a go finally. And one cool one that I love is Soul Calibur 2. I'm loving that. I'm so happy that's coming back. And it's funny, too, because it'll be the GameCube version. That's the version that has Link. All 3 consoles got different versions. PlayStation 2 got Heihachi from the Tekken games.
Yeah.
Xbox got Spawn from the comic book Spawn. And GameCube got Link.
That's pretty solid. I'm very excited for the GameCube. I've wanted to play Wind Waker forever now, and I haven't found a way to play play that. So, yeah, I'll be getting that for at least a month to play through that. I wonder if do you remember? Okay, I've only heard about this. There was a 4-player Zelda game that was on GameCube. I don't know what it's called, but you play like what was the other GameCube Zelda game called? That was it a 4-player one where you have to like your different colors?
There is.
Yeah.
No, there's a couple. There's a couple of them in the history. The only one I'm familiar with actually came out for 3DS, Tricolor Heroes, and that was three of them. But there,
oh, is that 3? Maybe is that one I'm thinking of?
yeah, maybe it is. But there was one for GameCube,
Yeah.
and I think the one for GameCube actually coincided with the Game Boy Advance. I think you could play with that somehow, and that interacted with it. I forget the name of the game. I forget the subtitle of that Zelda game.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that sometimes games just come too early, and like I wonder if like that particular Zelda game that we can no longer remember the name of, it didn't. It maybe was just too early. Like maybe now in the world we live in with lots of online multiplayer games, people are gonna like way be into stuff like that because it's a different, like they get online games now where Nintendo wasn't predominantly an online kind of thing back in the day. So
Well,
just
maybe so. I mean, Tricolor Heroes was fun, but I only played that. Like, I don't think you played it online. I was with people when I played it. Yeah, a couple friends. It was good. It was a fun puzzler. You know, it really emphasized like the puzzles were cooler because now there was 3 of you. You
Yeah.
know, so it ended up working out really cool. And the action was tight. You know, it was Zelda. It was of a Link Between Worlds style, really gameplay. That was a fun one. Speaking of Zelda, though, so actually, this brings up to this is a whole other topic with the Switch 2. So far, they have announced a remastering of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, 4K, higher frame rate, all that
FPS,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The standard at this point, you know, it looks great. Now, do you think this is gonna start a big trend? Like, is that the new thing? Because that seems to happen. Like when the new console comes out, and after this, you're gonna see the remastered version of Mario Odyssey. You might even see the remastered version of Mario Kart 8 if you just want to play that, just like straight up. You'll see the remastered version of the Hyrule Warriors games. More on that later. Pikmin. You like Pikmin?
I do.
You played the Pikmin games, yeah. Would you get the remastered version?
If it will they do what they did with the Nintendo? The PlayStation from 4 to 5, where they up the upscaled version, where you keep your old game, then you download a patch for $10, like, and then you play the new version that's upscaled version.
They haven't explicitly said that, but I know they do mention that your old save data from, like, if you play it on the Switch, that will carry on to the remastered edition. So I can only assume that if you can bring your save data over, that must mean that you can just update it like that. It'll probably be similar to, and this is funny, 2 examples I got. Doom Eternal for PS4, I threw in my PS5, and it updated. I got the PlayStation 5. When I play it, I play the PlayStation 5 version. You know?
Yeah.
And it looks great. Tony Hawk 1-2, I put that in my PS5, and I got to upgrade it for $10.
Well,
so it's gonna be either the Doom one or the Tony Hawk one.
I don't know. I hate upgrading, and to be honest, I don't think there's that much of a difference between the games now. Aren't really going that much in advance. Like,
right?
I play PS4 game, and I'm like, oh, this is fine. These graphics are fine. I don't really care if they're that much better. So
I mean, the performance does mean something, you know.
Yeah.
If
frame
rate.
Like
right, stuff like that. Lighting, like they got HDR now, so it's like more true lighting, ray tracing, and shit like that. But even that is like compared to like the polygon count, you know, back in the day. And yeah, what's the difference between showing like 500 million colors or 1 billion colors? I'm sure there's some difference, but. You know, you're not going to get the whole spectrum.
Yeah. I'm just watching a few of the actual little videos now that I missed. Kirby Star Riders. Did you see
Oh
that?
yeah, I did.
Is that a racing game?
It's more or less Kirby's Air Ride 2.
Okay.
If you did you ever play Kirby's Air
No,
Ride?
I did. No, I didn't. So I'm not sure
It,
what.
it's a racing game like that. For the record, I know I've admitted this before. I'm not the biggest Kirby fan. Like I don't hate Kirby. I've just never really gotten into the games of Kirby.
Oh, I
So
love the 3D one. The last
yeah,
one. That was
it's
so
got a
good.
great fan. It's got a good fan base, and that's great. I mean, it's a
But have you
respectable
played the
character.
3D one? Have you played the last 3D one?
No,
I
no,
don't feel
no.
like you can comment on Kirby till you play that. That is, without a
I
doubt, the
mean,
greatest.
the most Kirby game I ever played was Kirby's Adventure on the NES. That's the only one I actually like sat down and was like, I don't think I beat it, but I definitely got like halfway. And honestly, it wasn't necessarily hard, even though the jumping was very floaty. Haha, pun intended. But it was other than that, I really just didn't get that far past it. But like I said, it's got its fans, and people love Kirby's Air Ride, so I'm assuming they're gonna love the new one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I don't like racing games that much. Like Mario Kart, yeah, that's everyone loves Mario Kart, but
Well,
I don't
but
really like.
Kirby's Air Ride does have its fans though. Like it's a very well received racer. If you like Kirby that much, I don't know, check out Air Ride at least.
I don't
and
like
then-
Kirby that much. I only like that one particular Kirby game. It's so good. That one particular Kirby game is unbelievable. The 3D one, it's so fun. It's kind of like the Astrobot of Kirby's. It's so good. I think drag and drive is a very, very interesting concept. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
No,
For
I didn't.
anyone that
I didn't.
hasn't seen the trailer for that, Drag and Drive is a basketball game, but you play solely in wheelchairs. And to play the game, you have to get your mouses. So both controllers must be a mouse option. And
Oh.
you have to roll them along the desk like you would to roll a wheelchair. And then you have to then you could use your so basically your controllers are being your hands, and it's very hand orientated kind of game. You have to wave your controller to like signal to get the ball. You have to dunk the ball with your controller. It's gonna be the Wii Sports kind of version of the Nintendo Switch 2 by the looks of it. It's a very interesting kind of concept, that one. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm really happy that people in wheelchairs are getting like a folk. This is people in wheelchairs that are making them the hero. That's awesome. I really love that part. But I'm not sure about the controls. I never like motion controls. I feel like Wii Sports was the only motion control game that I really enjoyed.
But is this really motion control? Because like mouse control and motion control are two different things, and this seems more just like that, just like an extension on that, really, more or less.
Well, it's more like a mouse and motion control, which makes it completely new playing experience because you have to roll with your controllers like you'll push a wheelchair wheel.
Is it one and another? Like, are you rolling with one hand and pointing with the other hand?
No. You're rolling with both hands. So if you want to steer, you have to roll one more than the other to like turn the wheelchair, and then you use it as a motion controller to dunk the ball. So you'll like put the ball on your lap and you'll grab it off your lap and dunk it. Watch the film clip of it. It shows you all the things of the movement and stuff. It's quite different to any other game I've ever seen. So
well, I will check it out. Yeah, now I'm interested. Before we go too far away from it, did you ever play Hyrule Warriors? Any of the Hyrule Warriors?
I always wanted to, but I never did because Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, that was like whenever we started anything gaming, we always talked about how Breath of the Wild was way too big of a game and we could never finish it because we get kind of bored halfway through it. Well, not bored, but we kind of like, oh, I
Well,
want to go and do
Tears.
something.
No, that was. I beat Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom was a different story.
Yeah, and you go back to it and you play it and you're like, oh, this is fun. I really enjoy this, but I'm not. I can't get obsessed with this game because it's just so much. It's overwhelming, and so for me, I always get caught on those two games, and I'm like, I want to go to Hyrule Warriors, but that just seems like I have to invest more Zelda time that I don't have. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, no, I hear you. But well, Hyrule Warriors is different because it is, or at least the first. I never played the second one, but the first one is quite level based. It's like it's Dynasty Warriors, it's Samurai Warriors, it's that Gundam style game too. Fun if a little mindless, but the third one looks like it's so. The first Hyrule Warriors, it's kind of its own sustained story, but there's fan service to like the Ocarina of Time. Zelda, the Wind Waker Zelda, the Twilight Princess Zelda, all that stuff. It's more like a kind of like a best of hits.
Yeah.
Whereas the second one, Age of Calamity, is more Breath of the Wild influenced.
That was the one that I was considering purchasing at the time. So what's the third one influenced by?
Tears of the Kingdom. It's Tears of the Kingdom based.
So
it's based off
crafting and all that kind of stuff in there.
I don't know how you would fit crafting into a game like Dynasty Warriors, though, because that's the hook with those games. It's just action. There's no puzzles. There's no thinking. Like, you're literally just trying to like get to an area, defeat a bunch of bad guys, so your troops can kind of like take over that area and hold it. Then you move on to the next area. Yeah, they've done that for like 20-something games.
Yeah, but I don't know. They might have it so you can, how in Fortnite you can build to hold the area better. Maybe you could just build some like simple. They give you some towers or something you could build to help protect the area. I feel like they will add something like that in because the main difference between Hyrule and Zelda was that you can play multiplayer. Is that correct?
Yes, there is multiplayer mode in those games.
Yeah, so if they're going to do multiplayer in those type of games, like imagine the things that people would be loving it if they could do some crafting. And I think Nintendo know that they're playing to everyone's thing. Like the only thing that they could make Zelda better by adding crafting, like every other game loves crafting. Why don't we just add crafting to Zelda? And everyone's like, yes, you should. And if they put that into Hyrule, people would just go nuts. It will be very popular.
No.
Yeah,
That's going.
I feel like Nintendo is really working out what people like, and they're not making anything too fancy. They're just like, okay, so you like that? Here's that with another level on top of that. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm all for this. And I mean, I love it. Like it's great. At least they're not trying to force feed us crap that we don't want.
They're just giving one piece of crap I do want is Metroid Prime 4.
I was just about to talk about that. I knew you want
that. Well, no, it looks fantastic. Admittedly, because I was looking on my computer monitor and I didn't have it on full screen, so I didn't get the real effect. But apparently, like there is performance mode on it. And just like it's high end, or at least it definitely feels like the most high end Metroid game I've ever played, or will play. Yeah. But that's the game there. We were talking about the mouse control, and even though I don't think I'll play with it, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a good alternative.
Yeah,
maybe just because I've been playing a lot of mouse keyboard lately. I don't know, but I could work it, if I truly wanted to. But even without the controls, though, it still looks beautiful. It looks Metro. They did a good job remastering the first Metroid Prime game. That came out really good.
I like the environment in this. It looks so much bigger and more lush than some of the other Metroid Primes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. We did a show like I don't know a long time ago now where controllers. And what was the most craziest controllers that you could have for a console. But have we got to a point now where accessibility is a really big thing, and Nintendo's identified that, and they're like, well, some people can't play with thumbsticks. How about we give them mouse as an option? I mean, even the new Nintendo Xbox that's coming out, Xbox just released a mouse and keyboard you can plug straight into your Xbox series consoles, because that way some people want to play mouse and keyboard on games. Like, is that where we're going?
I mean, yes, because the opposite's also true. I mean, every like modern PC game I get, it's got controller support. Even like Baldur's Gate 3, which you would think would be more suited for our mouse game. Oh yeah, I can play with a controller on my PC.
Yeah,
just like that. Yeah, I mean, accessibility is good. Yeah, no, accessibility is good. Anything that makes people. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, what was I playing? I was playing this game, Prison City. It's like a 2D style platformer, and when you fight the final boss, you really got to press the top left button really fast to really hit him hard.
Yeah.
My hand was hurting. Like after that, it's like like that. I don't know what's going to be like in 60, not 60 years. When I'm 60 in 20 years, I might need it. I might need. In 60 years, then I don't know how I'll move.
They pull you out of cryo freeze just so you can play the NES.
yeah. That'd be fine. Yep.
But yeah, maybe that's where Nintendo's identified a place that people with different conditions are going, hey, this control is actually quite difficult. I mean, there's a lot of people, me included, that find the Switch controls to be so small, and I would much rather play with the Pro controller than the Switch controllers. I find them a little bit small for my big hands.
Me too. I did notice, though, and they mentioned it, that the controller, sides there, whatever you call them, are bigger. And they're a decent size bigger. They definitely won't be as uncomfortable as playing with the standard Switch Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw a Switch 2 Pro controller. I mean, they'll probably come out with one, but I didn't see one like often. Maybe they do show one. They do show, the controller, shell, when you play with that with the Joy-Cons. But they didn't. I don't think I saw a dedicated Pro controller. Maybe they did. I just missed it when I was looking at everything.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I didn't see it at all either. I don't think they've really shown that so much at the moment. But yeah, it's really exciting to see where it's going to go. I mean, I like everything about it. I think it's a good price. I think there's not much to hate about it. I'm kind of curious to see what happens when you plug your old game into the Switch 2, because I'm pretty sure you can just put it straight into the new Switch 2.
From what I heard, they said compatibility with past Nintendo games, with Nintendo Switch games. They did not say compatibility with all Nintendo Switch games, but they did say and they did say both digital and physical. So one way or another, your Nintendo Switch 1 cartridge, card, whatever, will be able to work in your Switch 2. Going by what they said.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but I wonder if it auto upscales it a little bit. If you put in like Mario Kart 8, does it look better because the screen's bigger? So you know how the PlayStation 5 automatically upscaled everything a little bit, and the PlayStation 4 upscaled everything? I wonder if there's a bit of an upscaler kind of going on in there.
See, and that's an interesting thing because while the Switch is HD, like the regular Switch is not 4K. Like it never was designed to be 4K. Switch 2 is.
Yeah.
But Switch 1 is not. So it's going to be interesting to see how they pull that off. I mean, I guess the best way to test it would say, play a PlayStation 4 game on your PS5 and see how that looks, But going back to the updates, of course, they might say, hey, update this. We got an update. It's got to look even better now. And yeah, update that. Click.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of thinking, and that's going to lead in, of course, to what's going to make the cut. I'm assuming pretty much everything. I remember hearing that with both like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. That's like 96 to 99% of all past games. Just a couple past games that just don't work. You know, some ones that are more obviously the live service online games of back then don't work now. Those die off.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I think is, why has Nintendo, I mean, they announced it in February, then they had this big conference now, and then literally we've got 2 months to go and buy one. How many have they got sitting around the world? How many have they made? Because I can go and pre-order it today or tomorrow. How many have they, are they going to go bad? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure they looked hard and long at the PlayStation 5 and Series X launches, which were already handicapped because they were launched during the pandemic.
oh yeah.
You know, so it's really hard to say with that. But even if they weren't launched in the pandemic, I still think it would have been like a shit show. You know, would have kept up by scalper selling it for crazy prices. Same thing would have happened.
Yeah.
So the only way to combat that aspect would be just to have as many ready to go as possible. Although I still don't think it's going to be enough. You know, they're going to sell all of them right away. I do find it. I don't know if it's a worldwide release, but over here it's June 25th.
Yeah, it's worldwide.
They're releasing the Switch
yeah.
And that to me, like, I don't know if that's a good move. I honestly don't know, because
But you would think they would try to have a heap of these consoles already made, because you would think they'd need, I don't know, 30 million consoles ready to go tomorrow.
No, yeah,
there must be 30 million or at least 20 million Switch 2s sitting somewhere in a warehouse under lock and key. Someone's, you know what I mean? Like this is the bit that I'm talking about. Like, who has access to all these consoles?
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and admit it right now on anything gaming world exclusive. I have 50,000 Nintendo Switch 2s in my basement.
Yes.
All right.
And
they're all mine.
They're actually Nintendo ones where you've crossed out the 1 and put a 2 on
it,
and you're going to sell them on eBay for a little bit more.
Oh no, they're little lights. They're little light switches that you put into the wall, and they say 2 on them. They say 2.
Yeah.
No. Still though, no. The pre-orders are like the 9th, and then they come out. Yeah. So this is like right now. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pre-order it. I don't like. No, I'm not getting caught up in that pool.
Oh, I love it. I love a good pre-order. I love a first day a day one release. I think a day one release bought a whole heap of consoles. So.
I'll let people have it for the summertime, and they can have fun with it. Me, I'll wait till Christmas or early next year. I think that's got to be my plan on this.
I'm thinking about trading in my old Switch, because I've got a couple of them. So I think I might trade one of them, so I can go. Then I've got like my deposit all sorted for the Switch too.
I got to tell you too, my girlfriend's super excited because I told her once I get my Switch 2, she gets my Switch 1.
Oh.
So so she's looking forward to that.
OLED Switch 1?
No. Well, no, it's the one. Okay, just an interesting story. I'll talk about it. But yeah, the Switch I got, I won in a contest. The retro game store that I shop at, they had a contest on Facebook. Every day for like a month and a half, they were gonna give away one Switch, and you had to enter. You had to share a Facebook post every day, and every day when I wake up, I and shared it. Like before I did anything, before I actually.
You're probably the only guy that did this, and they're like,
maybe
he's the most deserving person for this. He's our number one fan.
I want it. Yeah, I want it. Yeah, no, it was great. Well, it was actually kind of funny too because I didn't buy Breath of the Wild for Wii U because I wanted to play on Switch, and I figured it was going to be a while before I got a Switch. So I was like, in the meantime, I'll just get another game to tie me over, and that's when Horizon Zero Dawn came out for PS4. and it was getting great reviews. You know, it was called like almost their take on Zelda, even though it really wasn't. But I see where they get the you know the comparison.
It's got a little
And
bit.
right, yeah, no. So I picked it up and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this. And then like 4 days after I got it, I won the Switch. And like as soon as I won the Switch, like I went out right after that and got a copy of Breath of the Wild. It just was like, well, and then like 3 years later, I finally got into Horizon. I got to it eventually.
And did you like Horizon?
I did. No, it was great. It was a darn good game. I haven't gone to the second one that much.
I just
yet.
need you to
But,
get into Kirby, 3D Kirby, and then we can talk about that.
Oh, yes. Well, I started playing Astro Bot. I told you that, right?
Yeah, and you loved it. So, like, I
it's
haven't,
good.
I haven't,
It's
I
really
haven't
good, yeah.
steered you wrong on any games so far. So,
No, they're solid games. That was a good one. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I'll take a look at some.
not the other ones,
footage.
just the 3D one. I think that's a great one. Okay,
For the Switch, right?
Yeah, for the Switch number one.
Right.
Switch number one. It's actually. It's just so good, like Astro. It's Mario or Nintendo's version of Astro Bot, but no one. It's almost as fun as that.
Ooh,
so
I gotta check it
just
out.
to give you an idea. I was gonna say, do you think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games is enough day one launches?
I mean, they're high-end launches. You know what I mean? And you got to remember, like I remember when Nintendo 64 came out. You know how many day one launches they had?
3.
Two.
2. Okay.
3.
Was it
Oh.
3?
It was 2. Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64. That's what you got. And that was Mario 64 was one of the games. And Pilot Wings was all right, but Mario 64 was with. If you have that, I believe that if you have one game that's just friggin' awesome. Hell, one game is all you need to launch. If it's that awesome.
Yeah. But that's what I don't know. It's like 6 games. I don't even know if Kirby Air Riders is coming out day one.
Some aren't. I know Metroid Prime 4 is a ways away. Donkey Kong's a ways away.
Yeah, Donkey Kong's not till July. It's
winter,
about 2 weeks. So it's only really my bad. It's only releasing in Mario Kart World day one.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the one. And keep in mind, we're in the era now where when you get a new console, you still got pretty much all the library of the previous console right on it. So true. While there's only one new game, you can still play. I'm sure there'll be a couple games. I hope I can still play. My copy of My Friend Pedro. That'd be disappointing if I can't do that again. I like that game. I can only assume they're all going to be on there.
I'm basically mostly getting a Nintendo Switch 2 so I can play the new Call of Duty in October.
Wait, did they announce Call of Duty for Switch?
Microsoft announced. Remember when Microsoft was going through that bit of rivalry?
Yeah.
They signed a 10-year deal with Nintendo that they're going to release the COD for the next 10 years on Nintendo Switch, starting Nintendo Switch 2. So this year we are getting COD on Nintendo Switch, which is basically going to fill up your whole Nintendo Switch if you download it from the internet.
Right, yeah.
I'll be able to play mouse and keyboard, mouse and controller.
Yeah, that is something cool. You can play mouse on on that Switch, but that's gonna be weird. And speaking of just like big ass downloads, I just wonder if it will be possible to release some version of Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch too.
Well, you think so because the Switch 2 is basically the same. It's similar to a PlayStation 5, not the Pro, just the Pro in specs wise. So, I mean, it should be able to do a Grand Theft Auto 5.
You heard about the Switch 2 dock, right?
No.
It's got a fan in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I just still want the Switch Solid. Should I start a petition?
Just a damn Switch block.
That's it. That's what I want. Just the Pro controller. I put my little game in it. It plugs into my TV. I never take it anywhere. I just want that.
I wanted to ask a question too. Did you play quite a bit of GameCube?
Never owned a GameCube. Never played. I don't think I ever played a game on GameCube.
Because I was wondering if there were any games you were looking for to come out for the GameCube. Because I got a couple ideas of games.
Oh, Wind Waker
Like,
was the one. Like
right, yeah.
I only ever wanted to play Wind Waker. So once they announced that, I'm like, I'm all in. I hate
So
how
they
I
already
had
got
to
the game,
buy
yeah.
it. Yeah, I hate how I had to buy it on a subscription. That really annoys the crap out of me. I wish I could just buy Wind Waker and not have their subscription, but I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
So,
here's a quick list of some games I hope come out for the GameCube service.
yes.
There are a couple, obviously, first party games that I would like to see. You know, the Metroid Prime games would be nice. If they put 2 there because they already got 1 out. The Donkey Konga games, which would be hard because you have to use the bongos. One game I really would hope would come out there is this game called Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem.
Yeah.
And it's a Resident Evil style game for the GameCube that, like, it's got this really cool thing where you go insane but starts to mess with your game. Like, it'll mess with, like, the pause screen and other stuff too, and loading. It's cool. It's very weird.
Okay.
It's just it's incredibly unique.
Yeah.
They already announced F-Zero GX, but I think they could get away with releasing Mario Kart Double Dash. I mean, they already put in Mario Kart 64, Super Mario Kart. It just seems Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance. So seeing Double Dash being able to come to the Switch too, that'd be huge. That'd be really big.
I'm just having a look through. Oh, Pikmin released on the GameCube.
Yep.
Pikmin.
It first released on Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. I mean, they did re-release those for the Switch, but it'd be cool to be able to play the original versions. I'd appreciate that. One game. This is actually a game that came out on the PlayStation 5 recently on their little PS Plus service. Time Splitters, the Time Splitters trilogy. Only the last 2 came out on the GameCube, but those are solid games, solid first-person shooters. I'd love to see them come out for that service.
Yeah, it's the thing that Nintendo's done a little bit bad, okay, is that they seem to have, it's almost like they're running out of the well. The well is getting empty, Nintendo. They've got all these old games that they've remastered, re-released so many times that I don't know how much more they can keep doing it. Like, they're running out of old games to revamp and redo. They have to start build. I mean, they are making new ones, but I don't think they can do it for too much longer. Of just.
Would you say that they have to, like, come? What's the most popular new franchise that Nintendo has? Because they did have some new franchises like ARMS, but that really didn't do too much. Like, as far as, like, recent game that's a reliable IP that can, like, you know, move a couple copies, so that, you know, has the brand recognition. It's really hard for me to think of any. Most of them are pretty.
They're pretty lost in their way.
Like, I would say, like, probably one of the newer ones is Pikmin. That's GameCube era, at least. I mean, I can't, like, what was a big new IP that Nintendo came out other than ARMS? ARMS is the only one I can think that came out on the Switch like side of things. Even the Wii U, the only Wii U new IP I could think of would be Wii Party U,
Maybe
which is fun,
Animal Crossing. It came out on this GameCube. So yeah, it's a newish one.
That would be another good game to come out on the GameCube service.
The one game that interests me here that I don't think anyone's ever talked about, but called Killer 7. Have you ever heard of that game?
Yeah, it's a Suda51 game. Same guy that would go on to make No More Heroes.
It looks really, really cool. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'd like them to bring out, like weird stuff.
I could see that. Yeah. That, like, they could pull that off. That'd be great.
Yeah. and apparently fans have been begging Nintendo Switch, like for the Nintendo Switch to remake it. So that's probably one that looks really cool.
Yeah.
I just think they're running out of idea, but it's not just Nintendo. It's movies. I mean, the Minecraft movie comes out today. We don't even have new ideas for anything anymore. We kind of just stick to these old ideas. That's the one thing I loved about retro games is that they would bring out a game and they go, we don't know if it's going to make money, but let's give it a shot and see what people think. And then some of them would turn out to be like amazing franchises, and other ones would just die all the time.
I mean, I think that's the vacuum that indie games have filled. You know, indie games are the ones that like take those risks now. They've kind of taken that baton.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's good. Nintendo can handle the franchises, the established. You know, whereas indie games can venture out into the unknown, and and sometimes make it big. I mean, there are indie games that don't stay indie for very long. Like that. I don't mean they get bought. I mean they become the buyers.
Well, I mean, you only have to look at Stardew Valley, which is made by one guy, and that game's made like $100 or $200 million or something like that.
Yeah,
that's not an indie game no more. Like
my indie game, I asked. The guy probably owns a helicopter.
Yeah,
there's nothing indie about a helicopter.
Yeah, that's right. Have you played what's that game that I wanted you to play so badly that you I keep going back to it and you never play it.
Sea of Stars. No, not that.
No. Have you played Stardew Valley?
I have not. No, I still haven't played that. In fact, but I heard they're not going to update the game that much anymore soon.
I think I think he's going on to building something new. So he's kind of like, this game's finished. Let's go and do something else. And we're like, yeah. Okay,
now's the time. Now's the time. I probably should play it now. That's like done, and I can actually like sit down and touch all of it.
It is a very addictive game. Put aside 10 hours if you plan to start it. Okay.
And it's out for all the systems, right?
Yeah.
It's out for everything. You just get it somewhere. Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb, that's the game I was thinking of. Have you played Cult of the Lamb?
No, but my friend's son was talking about it. He bought it. He's like 10 years old.
Yeah, it's ridiculously fun.
He loves it.
Yeah. It's a game where you have to go around and get people to join your cult, and if they don't conform to your cult, then you either make the decision to re-hypnotize them into the cult or kill them and get the other cult members to bury them. But it's done in such an adorable way. It's like, as if, imagine that. Now it sounds dark and bad, and then I said it looks kind of on the same vein as Animal Crossing, and you're like, okay, that makes no sense to me.
Nah, I mean, from what I've seen of the game, it is out there. It seems fun. I don't know why, but I kind of equate the game with Untitled Goose Game for some reason. Like that level of like just addictiveness and quirkiness.
Yeah, Untitled Goose Game is another one that's really, really fun. I like the length of that game. It's just a nice little, you got spare 3 hours, you'll get through the game.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
No, yeah. So, I mean, while it is a little, you can lament that Nintendo's really not, making up the new stuff anymore. What they're doing with the old stuff.
Oh, I'm
excited for it.
I am too. But what I'm saying is, I feel like they're running out of old stuff to do. They're not. Like they bring out stuff that we're like, oh yeah, they finally brought this back. But there's not that much more that they can finally bring back.
True. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Admittedly, they did strike gold with two things. Like, they have two things that I think are really good ideas. The one is the whole Mario Kart world being like almost like rally style racing. That's a nice shot in the arm. Plus a new 3D Donkey Kong game. Again, it's been a while. That's a nice shot in the arm. Admittedly, a new Hyrule Warriors, a new Metroid Prime, while they're going to be great, is, you already know how it's going to play. you've played it already, so it's not that new on that end.
Is there, okay, very, very last question. Is there something you're hoping that will happen in Metroid Prime? You know what I mean? Like, you know how like you've played the series and it's kind of very similar. They kind of go down the same path. It's the same kind of thing. Are you kind of waiting for like some new mechanic or some story piece to come in?
Yes, actually. I don't know if you could call it a new mechanic, but if you ever play Metroid Zero Mission, that's a 2D Metroid game where you playing, you Metroid on, you go, but near the end of the game, you lose your suit. Now you have to go around as Zero Suit Samus, who's a lot weaker. She only has a gun that can stun enemies, and it actually changed up the gameplay quite a bit. I wonder if you could do that with first-person style Metroid Prime. Have a part where you're playing, but you're not in the suit, because that's one of the cool things about Metroid Prime is that you're in the Chozo suit. You know what I mean? And it's a badass spacesuit that can fire lasers and grapple and jump and all this stuff. But to not have it would mean that you play as just Samus, who's, athletic female, but there's not much you can do without the suit. So it'd be interesting to see them incorporate that into Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, so if that's in the game, you're just gonna lose. Like you're gonna come in one of these episodes and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it happened! It happened!"
Yeah,
Nintendo been watching this show.
it would yeah, I know, right? I hope they put that in. It would just be an interesting way. Like you lose your weapons. You wouldn't be able to roll into a ball. So you probably have to avoid enemies, but it's in the first person now rather than the 2D part, which is in Zero Mission.
Yeah, okay.
So make it happen, Nintendo. All right, balls in your court.
We'll leave it on that. I reckon that's enough for Nintendo. I think we've had really fun talking about Nintendo. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear the upcoming news in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been good talking to you, and we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.